Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to my Project Veronica endgame melee build for Iron Man for Marvel Heroes Omega for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, unfortunately on console at the moment we don't have the Hulkbuster outfit, because this is the outfit you really want to use for this build. In time, once it comes out, I'll upload this video again and I'll add some gameplay with the Hulkbuster costume. But what I'll cover in this video is I'll have a look at the skills and talents for the build, the synergies, infinity point allocation, gearing priority, and then we'll have some gameplay at the end. So if you want to jump to any particular section, check out the description, there are timestamps there. Otherwise we'll start off by looking at the skills. For the skills here, we're going heavy on the melee side of things because it's a ton of fun, but we've got a few ranged skills thrown in there as well to help provide us with a bit of versatility. Now, the main filler is a melee move, of course. It's Jet Thrust Punch, so it does a nice amount of damage, and it also has a flat 10% critical hit chance. Now, we'll follow this up and we use this as our main trash clearer because you can spam it, unlike the other skills that have either 8 or 6 second cooldowns. This is Jericho Bombardment, so it makes enemy vulnerable, which is pretty important, and it leaves a dot on them, so you always want to lead with this. You'll follow up with Death from Above, which looks incredible and does a nice amount of damage, and through a medallion choice it will actually knock down the enemy, but we'll look at that once we get to the gear section. Now, with this skill, it was a close call to use this or Jet Assisted Slam, because the Slam provides weaken. However, the Slam does damage over a much smaller area and it doesn't look half as cool as Death from Above, so that's why I went for that there. But if you feel you need the weaken, you can of course switch these two out. The next move is Sonic Shockwave. It does a nice amount of damage, stuns enemy for 2 seconds. It should have a dot portion to it, which isn't working at the moment, so I put in a bug report for that and hopefully we can get that fixed. The next move we have, and this ties in with something we'll look at in the talents, is Coolant Blast. So you've got the initial damage packet, slows the enemy, freezes them, and it actually gets rid of the heat mechanics so you can start regenerating health. But when we get to the talents we'll talk about that a bit further. For the signature we have the one-off, so it's 3 hits, invulnerable while casting it, and it has a low 20-second cooldown, so you use this as and when required against elites or bosses. Now, final skill we look at is Arc Reactor Overload. So this does a nice amount of damage and it restores 40% of your max suit power. So I put this on L2 cross, so when I'm holding down my main attack filler, I actually just press L2 to switch to the second set of skills and it will automatically cast this. I don't have to worry about timing it, just jumping between the 2 sets of skills, I'll cast it and it will keep my suit power up. But next up, let's have a look at the talents. For the first talent line we're using Overclock, and there's really no choice here. This really is pretty fantastic. So with it, Arc Reactor's damage bonus is increased by 100% and you gain 840 damage rate, and your suit power cost does go up, but we can maintain it no problem anyway, so it's not an issue. We then have Extremis Healing Nanites, which is great on our melee build and it helps offset the health loss we will have when we look at talent 5. Gives you 350 health per second, you lose 50 max suit power, which is nothing, and Arc Reactor Overload applies rapid healing, which is really a fantastic team buff. Now, the next talent is Upgrade Non-Lethal Systems. So Repulsor Spray transforms into Sonic Shockwave, says it deals a dot, doesn't at the moment, hopefully that'll be fixed soon, and Coolant Blast causes enemies to take 50% more damage from your next Jet Assisted Slam or Death from Above, so it's up to you which one of the two you use, as mentioned earlier. We then have Upgrade Armor Hydraulics, so Jet Assisted Slam will do additional damage, cooldown goes up, but also Death from Above, which is an important one, gains 50% damage, 4-second cooldown, and it also works as a steroid for your melee power damage as well, giving you 10%. Final talent is Upgrade Jet Thrusters, so melee powers generate heat. This makes you a bit similar to War Machine in that regard. While above 50% heat, melee powers deal 10% more damage. At 100% heat you become overheated and melee powers gain a whopping 25% extra damage, but it does cost you health based on how much health you actually have, so you don't want to stack your health too high. What you want to do is stack your life on hit so you can actually sustain keeping the overheated status for as long as you can. When you're potentially looking to be in trouble and your health's going down, hit the Coolant Blast and that will take away the overheated, and you can start regenerating health again there. But for the next section, we'll have a look at the synergies. We start off here then looking at the primary attributes on Iron Man, and that would be intelligence and energy, so that's covered by Beast and Gambit. The more generic synergies we use on most heroes are Blade, Hawkeye, Hulk, She-Hulk and Squirrel Girl, and then finally we have Black Widow, that's great because she offers both melee and range damage. Nightcrawler, who's great because he gives us a ton of melee damage, and then Iron Man's pretty nice as well because he helps buff the damage on our signature. But next up we'll have a look at the Infinity Point allocation. For the first 100 points, and indeed it would be the first 200 points, I would place them into the Mind Gem and Deep Thought for additional suit power, and also you get the nice Mind Mastery at 50 points when you critically hit, regenerate 0.5% of your maximum health. Now as time goes on and you do get more points, you want to start to look to put them into Inner Resilience or Against All the Odds, so we can offset the heat status when we lose our health. So that's something to bear in mind for later game once you're starting to roll in the infinity points. But for the next section, the final section before we show off some gameplay, we will have a look at the general gearing priority for the build. As always then, with this gearing section, I'll give some general guidelines on how you want to gear for this build, and that means in the future when new items come out you can use the tips given here to help you decide if you want to move about your items in your gear. Now when it comes to the legendary, this one really is great on them. The Emkran Crystal provides suit power, which in turn converts into damage rating for him. It has 3000 health, which is great due to the melee build. It has flat damage rating, which is great due to all the numerous tags he has that can be quite hard to itemise for otherwise. 1500 critical hit rating, and then a nice rank 5 proc as well. When it comes to the medallion, I've used this one because it's a bit of fun, and again due to the fact that he's got various different damage tags that can be hard to find a medallion that cover all of them. So Manate Medallion, enemies hit by elite powers, which is our crash down skill, are knocked down and take 10% more damage for 3 seconds, so that's a bit of fun. For the green effects, I would personally look for suit power. You can get up to 250 on it, which is really pretty nice. When it comes to the catalyst, you want the health on hit. This helps offset when you're at full heat and losing health. You can also get suit power here as well, so look out for that. Relic is the Relic of Gibberum because it gives you the 200 suit power again, converting into damage rating for all of our skills. Artifact wise, don't normally cover these, but this one's custom made for them. It's called Improved Arc Reactor. Offers up to a whopping 550 suit power, which is absolutely incredible on them. Now with the item selection we have, when it comes to your slot 1 to 5 and your ring, I would concentrate a bit more on the brutal strike rating because you will be a bit lower because we don't have it on our medallion or our legendary. Now to finish up the video, as always we have some gameplay. Have a run through of the Hydra operation. I figured that would be good for Iron Man face off against Mandarin at the end. We'll do a full bounty clear. As always, I'll just quickly mention that this is purely to show off the rotation and how the build works, not how he performed in best in slot gear, because I don't have best in slot gear on him at the moment. But enjoy this gameplay. If there's any questions or anything else, feel free to ask, and I'll see you all again soon.
What would people do without me? How about that? will never be destroyed.